Hello and welcome to LT's Garage. Today I'm going to show you 5 different looks that I got from this one type of sign that you can get at Dollar Tree. First, I'm going to use this little red truck. I think it's adorable. It's really popular right now, these little red trucks, but what I don't like about it is the gold glitter around the edge. So I tried several different things. I tried sanding it off. I tried using some paint to paint over it. Just random ideas, and nothing really seemed to work. So I decided to really go for rustic, and I peeled all the edges off. I peeled all that glitter off, and I even used my X-Acto knife and peeled off the glittery words that were on the sign. So you can see that I just have left a little bit of the background and the truck. So now all those edges where it's just kind of raw cardboard, I'm going to paint. This paint kind of helps seal those edges where the printed paper meets the raw kind of cardboard of the background. Anyway, this will seal the edges off and also help me as I'm creating my rustic background. So I've painted it, paint's drying. I'm going to now crackle over what I've painted. So every place that I put paint, I'm going to put crackle. I'm going to be careful not to go onto the paper too much. I don't want to create a weird shine on the paper background that still is there. So just getting it right on the areas that I've painted. So once I've got that crackle on, I need to let it dry 3 or 4 hours. Then I go over it with a lighter color. I actually mixed a color using some tan and gray and a little bit of white to try and get a color that was similar to the background paper that was already on the sign. So I'm putting this over all those areas that I previously painted and crackled. And when this dries, it'll have a really cool weathered, crackly finish. So magic. Here is my crackled sign. Has some rough areas. I'm going to take a little bit of sandpaper and just kind of sand it a little bit, make it, again, a little bit more weathered, especially paying attention to those areas where the original paper meets the paint. And if you noticed, I was sanding all in the same direction, going with the direction of the grain that's printed on the background paper. It's kind of a weathered wood. So I want to make sure, and everything I do is going with that same grain of the wood. So here I've mixed a little bit more white in with the paint that I used previously and am highlighting, trying to, again, go with that wood grain and make it match all that weathered stuff that I did, try and make it match the background paper that's already on there. So I'm going to add a little bit more white, just lightly dry brushing all this in just to give it a little bit more definition, make it look a little bit more like that background paper. Here's my stick, fell off the tree in the backyard. I'm cutting a piece, and I cut it at a pretty sharp angle so that once I glue it onto my sign, it'll lay nicely. It won't poke straight up off the sign. I am making a bow just by wrapping jute around my finger several times and then tying a piece of string around it. So here's my little jute bow and gluing on my stem, a little leaf. Actually decided I didn't like the jute bow. I tried some ribbon. I tried some burlap. I tried a couple of different things and nothing really seemed to fit until I tried the raffia, and I really liked it. It's kind of natural and goes with the weathered look of this sign. So ended up with a raffia bow. Trimmed it up and really liked the way that turned out. Cute little red pickup sign. So just to remind you, this sign had 2 parts, and here is the pumpkin frame. I'm painting over all that glitter so that it doesn't come off on me. I'm going to wrap this frame with some burlap. I got this burlap at Dollar Tree. It comes in lots of different colors. I think it was in the floral section. It might have been in the craft section. I can't remember. But they had lots of this fun burlap ribbon. So I'm just gluing on the brown for the stem, using a little bit of the orange right there in the center, and then I'm going to just wrap. Glue the end down and wrap this burlap around the frame. I painted the frame a dark brown because I still wanted that contrast. If I had painted it orange or something, there wouldn't be that little bit of contrast showing through, and I like that. So although now that I'm looking at this, it doesn't really show through that much as I'm wrapping the ribbon around. So I got to the center of the bottom and I cut it off and glued it down because I wanted the pumpkin to have a little bit of symmetry. So I'm wrapping the other side the same way. And here's where my battery died, or I lost some footage. Anyway, I didn't get to show you how I finished off that pumpkin completely. I'm actually adding these words. I painted these little metal words with just some regular acrylic paint. Then I used that matte spray on it. And I did that because sometimes the paint will chip on these metal pieces from the Dollar Tree. So now I'm just going to glue this thankful. Here's my finished pumpkin. You can see how I did finish it with the burlap, and then I put a little leaf. The brown twine is from Dollar Tree. Actually, all that's from Dollar Tree. All the embellishments are things I scavenged from things from Dollar Tree. So here is another version of that burlap wrapped pumpkin form. This one's in natural burlap, and I played around with that a little bit and tried to find the right embellishments for this one, and I ended up using these kind of muted natural colors to go with this burlap wrapped. I'm going to call it a wreath. And here again, I'm going to use raffia and make a bow. It goes great with the natural embellishments that I've used on this burlap wreath. There you go. So next I'm going to show you how I used this rope, also from Dollar Tree, to wrap around one of these wreath forms, pumpkin shapes. Again, same as the burlap, it takes a little bit more time because the rope's thinner, but you just wrap it around and glue it down. Here is some ribbon. This is also from the Dollar Tree. their fall ribbon. It had that gold on the edges, and I just cut that off and frayed the edges to make kind of a soft bow to go on that wreath. Here is another one of the inside pumpkins from that 2-piece sign. This one had a red truck on it originally as well, but I wrecked it trying to figure out how to get the glitter off. So this one I just painted both sides, and I'm gluing burlap ribbon, again from Dollar Tree, on the outside. So that centerpiece, I kind of curved the edges. It's hard to tell because of the white glue, but once that dries, you'll be able to see. I trimmed around all the edges, and here I have my metal words. I'm going to be painting the welcome out of this packet. Again, it has the 3 harvest, thankful, and welcome. I used the thankful on that orange burlap wreath earlier. I'm going to use a ivory colored paint. Remember, when you paint these, whatever kind of paint you use, it's always good to use a finishing spray, just so that that paint has less of an opportunity to chip. Here you can see I added my little stem and a burlap leaf, and I have a cute little burlap wall hanging. Project number 1. Here's what we started out with. Remember the 2 pieces. Here's the little red pickup. Project number 2. Number 3 is our thankful wreath. 4, our natural burlap wreath, and 5, our rope wrapped wreath. So are you inspired? I sure hope so. Please give me a thumbs up down there below and hit subscribe, and share this with someone else who might like it. It helps me to know whether or not I should keep making these videos. Follow me on Facebook at LT's Garage and Instagram at LTS_garage. See you soon.